A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events early Sunday morning, a U.S. federal judge intervened to halt the deportation of a group of unaccompanied migrant children from Guatemala who were already boarded onto planes, as well as potentially hundreds more in government shelters. The ruling comes after lawyers for the children filed an emergency appeal, prompting Judge Sparkle Suknanen to issue a temporary restraining order that will remain in effect for 14 days. The National Immigration Law Center, a pro-immigrant advocacy group, initiated the emergency motion in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C., citing concerns that the children would face abuse and persecution if returned to Guatemala. The children, aged between 10 and 17, were reportedly in the process of being deported as part of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown, which has been a hallmark of the former president's policy since he took office again in January. During the emergency hearing, Judge Suknanen expressed her urgency to ascertain the situation, having been alerted to the case in the early hours of the morning. She pressed government attorneys for confirmation that no children had already been deported, and although they assured her that all planes were grounded, it was revealed that at least one plane had taken off but returned shortly thereafter. The judge expanded her order to include all unaccompanied minors in the custody of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, which could encompass hundreds of children. The backdrop to this legal battle is the Trump administration's agreement with Guatemala to facilitate the return of unaccompanied minors. This agreement has been met with significant backlash from advocacy groups, who argue that the deportations violate federal protections designed to safeguard vulnerable children. Among the plaintiffs in the case is a 10-year-old indigenous girl from Guatemala who has faced abuse and neglect in her home country. The complaint highlights that many of the children have credible fears of returning to Guatemala, where they may be subjected to further harm. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller criticized the judge's decision, claiming that the minors had self-reported that their parents were back in Guatemala and accused the judge of obstructing family reunification efforts. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice maintained that the flights were not part of a deportation effort, but rather a means of reuniting children with family members in Guatemala. However, advocacy groups contest this narrative, arguing that many children do not have relatives willing or able to take them back. As the legal proceedings unfold, the fate of these children remains uncertain, and the case highlights the ongoing tensions surrounding immigration policy in the United States. The ruling also underscores the complexities involved in handling unaccompanied minors, who often arrive at the U.S. border fleeing violence and instability in their home countries. The National Immigration Law Center and other advocacy organizations are closely monitoring the situation as they continue to fight for the rights and protections of these vulnerable children. The temporary restraining order issued by Judge Suknanen serves as a critical moment in the ongoing debate over immigration policy and the treatment of unaccompanied minors in the U.S. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.